Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new limited edition CR7 Nike Mercurial Superfly 4 in the Quinhentos colorway. Pardon my Portuguese, by the way. As you guys can see, it does come in a special box, black in color, with the CR7 logo there at the top with a metallic red Nike swoosh. Remove the lid, and on the inside, they do include a string bag to go along with the shoes themselves. The string bag is light gray in color with black strings. It features a sparkly black Nike swoosh on the front, as well as the Vapor 3 graphic, both elements you will find on the actual shoes. And then on the back, it's left pretty much completely blank with a small black CR7 logo at the bottom. Other than that, all you're gonna find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at what is a really good looking colorway of the Superfly 4, the Quinhentos CR7 limited edition colorway release. Quinhentos, it's a Portuguese word that translates to 500. So this particular pair of Superflies represents Ronaldo scoring 500 career goals. And this is actually part of a pack that went along with this particular shoe right here. Made a video on these not too long ago. If you missed it, I'll leave an annotation on screen. But this is the CR7 Nike Mercurial Superfly 4 324K. This one represents 500 total career goals. This one represents 324 goals for his club team, Real Madrid, which is a record for the club. He hit both of those milestones pretty much at the same time. So Nike came out with this particular pack. Two separate colorways of Superfly 4s, both very limited. I will say that the white ones were a lot harder to get than the silver ones. These ones sold out pretty much instantly. The silver ones, they were available pretty much the day of and even the day after at certain places for pretty much all day long. Obviously, some sizes sold out quicker than others, but based on what I could tell, they definitely made more or released more to the public of this particular silver colorway versus the white ones. They never gave any specific numbers on how many they actually produced of either of them. They're both limited, more so than any regular colorway of the Superfly 4, of course, but neither of them are particularly rare or particularly valuable, if that's something that you were wondering. So as far as getting a pair of these for yourself is concerned, like I mentioned, they pretty much sold out everywhere, both of these colorways. You'll find plenty of them on eBay from people who have purchased them, did manage to get them, and are trying to resell them above the $300 retail price. Are they worth much more than retail? I would argue no, but again, that kind of depends on how much you're willing to pay for them. I wouldn't recommend paying a crazy amount of money. Some people have these listed for $1,000, $2,000, and quite frankly, they're just not worth that. But again, pay what you want if you're going to go in the resale market, and just make sure that you have an authentic pair, or you're buying an authentic pair, because there's plenty of counterfeit shoes out there in these two colorways, just because there's a lot of interest around it. So in this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at this particular colorway, talking about the inspiration behind it, because this isn't just a random color scheme with random graphics. There is actually somewhat of a backstory here, which is kind of cool. And it kind of ties into the Mercurial history, if you will. We're going to talk about tech specs, performance, the way these things fit and feel on feet, as well as take a look at the weight of the shoe. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway and all the little details that you don't really get to see unless you have the shoe in your hands. Now, the Quinhentos colorway, as you guys can see, is a metallic silver with black, gray, and gym red accents. Now, this is actually an original colorway of the shoe that this is inspired by, the Nike Mercurial Vapor 3. For those that know your Mercurial history, obviously this is a Mercurial Vapor 3 inspired design. Here's a Vapor 3 for those that don't know what it looks like. Basically, it's a solid color all the way through, and then it has that cool graphic slash pattern there at the heel. This is obviously not the exact colorway of these two, but these two shoes are based on original Vapor 3 colorways, which is kind of cool in itself. The white and gold, which is my personal favorite of all the Vapor 3 colors, and then this one right here, which is a metallic silver with black and gym red in the actual heel graphic. Now, the original Vapor 3 colorway in this particular form, I don't believe was quite as shiny. This definitely has more of like a chrome, almost mirrored finish to it, which looks really good on the Superfly 4. And of the two, It's a really tough choice for me to pick a favorite. If these were Vapor 3s, I would definitely prefer this colorway, but on the Superfly 4, honestly, I think this metallic silver one does look a little bit better based on my opinion, but let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So you have that metallic silver across the majority of the upper, at least the part that is covered in Nike skin. The part that's not covered in Nike skin is exposed across the top of the foot as well as in the collar. It's pretty much just a combination of light gray and black in the actual Flyknit material. You have that graphic at the heel that kind of thins out as you get closer to the midfoot, which is basically just made up of little ovals that vary in shape. So you have that gym red color that does have a chrome aesthetic to it as well. It's not really a red, it's almost like a reddish bronze color, I guess is the best way to describe it. And you see you have that same color in the actual Mercurial graphic going down the back of the collar. Your CR7 branding in silver right there on the back as well. And then you do of course have the shiny black Nike skin material as well going across the back of the collar in the actual Nike swoosh at the front, which is really cool. And then the smaller Nike swoosh positioned here on the medial side of the shoe. That's basically the same as the Gala Glimmer colorway from the an actual CR7 signature colorway, a general release. So that glitter effect, should you actually wear these shoes, will wear off over time, so keep that in mind. The shoes come with black laces. As you guys can see, you have the black rim across the top of the collar as well. Something that's cool that I didn't really notice until I had them in my hand is the actual top line here where the upper meets the sole plate does have some fade to it. So you can see it starts off as black going down the side from the back of the shoe and then eventually fades to silver as you get to the front, kind of halfway through, I guess. It does have a clear stud plate, as you guys can see, carbon fiber, which looks absolutely fantastic. And then some of the studs are that gym red, almost kind of burgundy color in terms of how it looks on the studs. And some of the studs are black with kind of translucent coverings, if you will. The internal part is what's colored. So that's pretty much it as far as just close-up details on the actual colorway itself. Really good looking shoe. Actually, I should show you guys the insoles as well. Give me a quick second just to show you that. The insole, basically this is part of a pack. So the one insole on the right shoe says 324, which basically represents this particular model. And then if you take the left shoe, which I have right here, and I take the insole out, you will see that it does actually have the number 500, which represents the silver color that we're actually focusing on in this video. So you can see right there, one says 500, the other one says 324. If you have the two shoes together, you have the entire pack. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comment section. Which one's better to you, the white ones or the silver ones? Let me know. And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, despite this being a limited edition release and despite it having different graphics from a regular pair of Superfly 4s, they're just Superfly 4s. There's nothing that's physically different about the construction and general performance of this shoe. So whether you have this pair or any of the colorways that have released prior and after this shoe, it's going to be the exact same shoe. There's no difference in performance whatsoever. So just keep that in mind. Now, for the sake of this video, we're going to go over the basics of what you should know about in regards to tech specs and performance of the Superfly 4. But if you guys want as much information as possible, be sure to check out the written review on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. And I'll also leave annotations on screen to my playtest video, as well as traction test videos of the Superfly 4 if you want to see the shoes in action. So, with the Superfly 4, why exactly are you buying these? One, you're a fan of the Mercurial line, and two, you're obviously interested in the Flyknit mid-cut aspect of the shoe. So the upper is entirely made from Flyknit. The main part of the shoe that is kind of the shiny silver color is a more reinforced version of Flyknit, where the parts that are uncovered are more elasticated. So this covered part is more dense. It's definitely a lot firmer. It doesn't have the elastication to it, but it still is very thin and very soft, and gets softer once you break them in. The shoes will feel a little bit funny at first. That's the case for all the mid-cut models from Nike, but again, once they're broken in, it will have that very soft, natural, flexible, almost sock-like sensation on your feet, which is kind of what the whole Flyknit construction is all about in the first place. Now, the Flyknit is reinforced by two separate elements. You have an internal support cage that's fused to the inside of the upper, and then you have the Brio cables, which you can see here. They run from the base of the sole into the the lacing system. So when you pull the laces tight, it pulls on that internal support cage, it pulls on these Brio cables, and helps to lock your foot in place, making for a very responsive feel from the shoe, despite the upper being very soft and very flexible. Which is a great characteristic and something you would expect from the Mercurial line. The finish on the upper, the part that does have this shiny covering to it, is not necessarily grippy. It's not slick either. It's kind of right there in the middle. And the shoe is also finished off with ACC all conditions control, acting as your wet control element. So as far as touch on the ball is concerned, it's thin but slightly padded just because of the nature of a knitted upper. If you want the thinnest possible feel from a pair of Mercurials, the Vapor 10 is actually the way to go. So with this particular shoe, laces run through the middle. As you guys can see, the top part of the foot as well as the collar is elasticated, so it does have this stretchy quality to it. As far as the mid-cut design of this shoe is concerned, a lot of people have some misconceptions that this offers some kind of performance benefits. It does not. There's no ankle support here. There's no restrictiveness that's kind of taken on with this particular collar design. Essentially what it's there for is, one, to look cool, which it does successfully depending on what your opinions are on the whole mid-cut soccer cleat thing, and two, to change up the feel of the shoe. It changes up the fit in the heel because of this mid-cut design, and it does make for somewhat of a flowing sensation where it feels like the shoe flows from your leg / ankle onto your foot as opposed to something that's being strapped to your foot. But I'll talk more about the fit and feel of this shoe a little bit later during the on-feet portion of the video. Inside, you do have an internal heel liner that is just a smooth synthetic leather with fairly minimal amounts of padding, if I'm completely honest with you guys. You saw the insole, fully removable mesh liner on top. It's just a single layer of foam, nothing too fancy, but definitely does get the job done. No complaints in that department. And then moving on to the sole plate and stud pattern. The sole plate is made from carbon fiber, as you guys can see. Coolest looking sole plate on the market. Is it that revolutionary as far as performance is concerned? No. But like I said, it does look the part. And then as far as the stud pattern is concerned, it's the same stud pattern you're going to get across the entire Mercurial lineup as of right now. Very aggressive traction, plenty of bite in pretty much any direction. And if you've worn Mercurials in the past, you've likely been very, very happy with the traction that they provided. And you can expect kind of more of the same with the latest generation of Mercurials and this latest stud pattern. So that's pretty much it as far as just a general overview of all the tech specs and performance features on this shoe. Again, do your research if you're planning on picking up a pair of Superfly 4s, but quite honestly, it's one of those shoes that most people who have picked them up have been very, very happy with them. As far as weight is concerned, the Superfly 4 is relatively light, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to weigh them for you today in real time using the scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.1 ounces, the equivalent of 202 grams. So as far as weight is concerned, right at the 7 ounce mark is, like I said, relatively lightweight. It's not the lightest Mercurial in the current lineup though. The Vapor 10, as well as the Veloce 2, believe it or not, are both almost a full ounce lighter than the Superfly, although the feel is entirely different. The Vapor and the Veloce 2 are kind of more classic Mercurial in terms of how they fit and feel, where the Superfly 4 is very unique. It really doesn't compare to anything else out there on the market. It's kind of never been done before territory, and it's part of the reason why so many people really like these shoes and are so curious about them. So again, if you're interested in the Superfly 4, weight is not going to be an issue. They feel nice and light on your feet. And like I said, you're just not going to have any issues with the weight of this shoe whatsoever. All right, so here is a look at the shoes on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of metallic silver reflective SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. Find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, Superfly 4 is a tight-fitting shoe, but because of the knitted upper, it does have that somewhat kind of sock-like, very natural sensation at the same time. It does have some firmness to it at first when they are brand new. They definitely do take some break-in time and just time to get used to how they fit and feel. And the upper will soften up over time as well. But for the most part, once they're broken in, it's actually a very, very comfortable shoe. Speaking of break-in, the heel area is the one part of the shoe that's going to give most people issues, especially when they're brand new, and especially if you haven't worn any of the Nike mid-cut models before. There's a lot of firmness in the heel. It can feel uncomfortable at first, but it's really, really important that you break them in slowly. Wear them around your house, wear them through some really light training sessions. Don't wear them straight into a game. Don't wear them straight into a free kick session or anything like that. Just take things really, really slow until they feel Basically 100% comfortable, and you're confident you can wear them for 2 hours straight doing more intense movements. But like I said, until then, take things nice and slow, and you shouldn't have any issues as far as blistering and discomfort is concerned. As far as the fit of the shoe is concerned, it's a Mercurial, so obviously it is going to have a tighter fit overall. Certainly not what I would consider to be a wide-fitting shoe, but at the same time, they're not narrow either. They will fit most people, but if you have really wide feet, these are probably not a good option. The Mercurial line in general just isn't particularly wide. And keep in mind as well that these will not stretch. The way they fit from right out of the box, for the most part, is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and length is absolutely perfect. So if you are planning on ordering a pair, just know that the Superfly 4 and the entire Mercurial line does run true to size. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the CR7 Quinhentos Nike Mercurial Superfly 4. If you guys are looking for more info on this shoe, be sure to check out the review page on my website. On that page, you'll find the high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself. That'll give you a better idea as to how they actually do look in person. If you have any questions at all regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.